James Ham and Kyle Madsen on ESPN 1320.
Hey, damn right. James is over there. I'm Kyle. Kings lose to the Clippers 109-91.
Wasn't that close.
No. That felt more like a 30-point loss than an 18-point loss.
Yeah, I thought the young guys went out and played really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that we're seeing. Like, it's funny. You see what Doug Christie wants because you see the young guys do it. It's very clear. Like, the young guys they're not set in their ways, and they're trying to make an impression. They're trying to do the right things, and they're following instructions, and they're playing really well.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the older players, it's not that they're being defiant as much as it's trying to teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm watching the young guys every single game so far that we've seen in the preseason. The young guys make a crazy run at the end. And again, they're going up against other young guys who don't know how to play the game. But you see the force, you see the activity, you see the running and playing the passing lanes, the steal that Devin Carter had in the breakaway. And like, it's just one play after another of the young guys, like picking up the full 94 feet, like Doug keeps asking for and all these things. So I think there is like an image of what you want to see down the road, even like the offense, everything seems to be working better. Now, it doesn't mean that they're going to win anything at the NBA level with just the young guys playing.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's proof positive that, like, look, it can be done. But at the same time, I think that's where the skepticism about the Kings arises for me, is that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
You're going to have Zach LaVine is just going to become this super pesky 94 feet defender who's jumping passing lanes. And like, no, that's not a knock on Zach LaVine. That's just not the player he is. And that's why we keep saying the roster doesn't make a ton of sense. You could get away with some of what they have on the perimeter if Domantas Sabonis was, I don't know, if he was Bam Adebayo defensively.
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, that's not his game. It's the pieces don't complement each other the right way. And Zach LaVine is not going to become that player. DeMar DeRozan is not going to become that player. Domantas Sabonis is not going to become a different player. Dennis Schroeder is not going to suddenly become this 40% 3-point shooter who can play off the ball and do all this stuff. Like, no, that's why we keep saying the roster doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because, hey, okay, individually, these pieces are great, but none of they're all from different puzzles.
Exactly.
Like,
actually, it's like a puzzle with no corner pieces. Like, the corner pieces are missing out of the box, and you keep searching for the corner pieces, and you're like, I can't put the puzzle together because I don't know which side goes where.
Yeah, man. And then the biggest thing last night, and this is where I want to get into the Domantas Sabonis injury. Keegan being out is obviously bad. You saw it last night.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see it more than once while he's out. And then Domantas Sabonis leaves with a hamstring injury. Didn't play in the second half.
Yeah.
And this is where I was already a little bit skeptical on how they would perform without Keegan. If you're missing Domas for any amount of time, again, there's no word on that.
There is absolutely no word.
I'm going to say a couple of weeks as a hypothetical. There's nothing out there. But if you're also missing Domas for a couple of weeks, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Because you can't just go full blown. Okay, Maxime Reynaud is going to start, although he'd probably have to, and play a ton of minutes. And Nick Clifford's gonna play a ton of minutes, and you know what? Keon Ellis is gonna start, and we're just gonna, because you still have Zach LaVine, you still have DeMar DeRozan,
yeah,
you still signed Dennis Schroeder, you're still gonna have Russell Westbrook. Like, there are too many veterans that you're trying to win games for, who aren't just gonna throw seasons away, and that's why no matter which way you slice it, it's like, man, it just doesn't work. But man, if Domas is gonna be out too, you could in the purplest glasses, you could get me to see, okay, maybe they change philosophy while Keegan's out and they try and score 150 points a game and they score enough that the defensive issues are less prominent, and they win some games that way. You could get me there. I can't get there with Domas out too.
Yeah.
If he misses time.
Yeah, well, and we have no idea, just so everyone knows. We asked last night following the game. Doug Christie had not got any update at all from the medical staff last night before he came and talked to us. Zach LaVine didn't even know that Domas got hurt at all. He didn't know. Like, it was like, hey, that's news to me. I didn't know. That would be a bad deal if he's going to miss time. But like, again, you're telling me that Domas is hurt.
Breaking the news to Zach LaVine that his teammate got hurt.
Yeah, and then even watching last night, like, I saw when it happened, and to be honest with you, it very well could have been like a flagrant foul. Zubac's like, him and Domas were fighting for a rebound under the basket, and he just got sick of Domas and shoved him to the ground on the baseline. And then Domas got up, like, his back was tweaked. He pinned him down with a forearm, and then he shoved him, and Domas took a big spill. Domas was grabbing at his low back and kind of like moving funny, going to the free throw line. And then he ends up not playing in the second half. I think he just tightened up a little bit. I'm going to guess that it's nothing like long-term, but again, that's just a guess.
Sure.
But if he's not going to play, you're in a whole bunch of trouble, because this team doesn't have a natural, like, Jonas Valanciunas was a very nice luxury to have. You now don't have that luxury at all. It's like Drew Eubanks, who can play, but we're talking minutes per game, like 12 to 15 minutes per game. And even that, sometimes it's rough. And then on top of that, you've got Reynaud, and you've got, like, I don't know where you go after that. Dario Saric. Like, this team a couple of years ago went into preseason, into training camp with like 5 centers on the roster.
Right.
And now they're coming into the regular season with, again, Drew Eubanks is 6'9". Like, he's not a legitimate 7-footer, even close. And so, like, how are you going to handle that position? And the answer is you're not. You don't even have a roster spot now. Like, Russell Westbrook took up the 15th roster spot. So, and that means Terrence Davis is not going to make the roster.
Can Russell Westbrook play the 5?
Yeah, that's today
5-guard lineup. Who says no?
Today on the handoff, we'll discuss.
Yes.
Yeah, but there's a problem here. Like, your roster construction is off. And again, I'm not putting all this blame on Scott Perry. He inherited a roster with a bunch of high-end contracts, and it's really tough to manipulate that roster.
I understand too why a new GM who finally has picks was not keen to attach picks to big contracts to get off of them.
Yes,
I understand. I know it's frustrating for the blow it up crowd, but blowing it up meant probably losing a bunch of your draft picks, in which case blowing it up and losing a bunch of games doesn't have the benefit of getting you a high draft pick.
Yeah, what are you blowing up for?
Right. So anyways, sorry.
And just so you know, when he was with the Knicks, they accumulated so many picks, it was crazy. Like, second round picks, first round picks, like, they had a war chest. And so when Mikal Bridges became available, they had the picks to go get Mikal Bridges. When OG Anunoby became available, they had the picks and the players to go get OG.
Right.
That's how they built the team that they had that looks like a championship contender right now. So I definitely would think that that Scott is going to try to accumulate whatever he can, but it's really difficult to trade high-end contracts. I mean, we're seeing right now in the NBA, even trading Malik Monk's $18.5 million for this season, it's virtually impossible. They don't have a line out the door for Malik Monk's contract. And that can even get worse, because if Malik Monk is all of a sudden falling out of the rotation, he's not going to be some hot commodity out there that teams are looking to get their hands on. So, like, when you sign a Russell Westbrook and all of a sudden he's getting minutes, but hey, look, it's early, and I'm not convinced that, like, any player on this roster is safe outside of Keegan, because you can't really trade him.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that this looks like someone who acquired a bunch of things so they can put them at their own yard sale and try to acquire something for those pieces a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Like, hey, I've got this. Would you give me a second round pick?
Yeah.
I've got this. Would you give me a first? That's what it feels like to me, that this is, because that's the only way I can start to make sense of this. Because if not, the roster is just like, and again, like adding Russell Westbrook, this is not an anti-Russell Westbrook like discussion. Adding Russell Westbrook when you have so many other dire needs and you're up against the luxury tax.
Yeah.
And you play for an owner who doesn't want to go over the luxury tax unless you're going to be a good team. And just all of it is like mismatched. It's like that your laundry when you pull your socks out and you're like, how do I have like 7 different socks that don't have a match to them? That's what it feels like. You're looking everywhere for what would make the rest of your sock pile whole, and somehow it's all missing.
I will say, I'm not good at that many things in life. I am elite at keeping pairs of socks together.
Oh, really?
Bro, I have not had
an
odd mismatching sock in years.
You have to try.
Like,
if you have kids.
Okay, so that's the difference. It is me and my wife, and we don't typically combine our laundry because she works from home. She does her laundry. I'll do mine. Like, it's not. So I don't have this problem where like I have a sock that accidentally gets wrapped up with somebody else's sock and vice versa. Now it's a mess. So, but I am elite at keeping my socks in pairs.
That's incredible.
Thank you. It is a real talent. I'm very excited to have it. But I was thinking about the Malik Monk aspect of this because we talked about Russell Westbrook so much yesterday, and I don't want this to evolve into a Russell Westbrook conversation. But Malik averaged about 11.4 shot attempts per game in the 2 years that he was strictly coming off the bench for the Kings. That doesn't include last year where he started a bunch of games and shot 14 times a game. But even if we go to the world where Malik Monk can share the court with another point guard and Russell Westbrook because it's just a 3-guard lineup, the value for Malik Monk is still going to go down because I don't think he's getting 11 shots in a lineup, 11 or 12 shots in a lineup where he's sharing the ball with Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. And Domas, and like there's just not going to be enough shots to go around. So I don't think there's really a situation where Malik Monk's value goes up from where it is right now.
No, and that's a problem. Yeah. Like that could be a huge problem for the Kings. Like you owe him 3 years and $60 million. That's why I don't understand. And this idea that the Kings had no backup point guard. Malik Monk was their backup point guard. Like he's the guy with the ball in his hands. Him and Keon Ellis, if you would have ran them out there, you would have thought, oh, that's just normal Kings basketball with Malik and Keon. You wouldn't have thought, oh my gosh, they don't have a backup point guard. I mean, the guy averaged 5.5 assists last year.
Yeah, and I get why it's not ideal, but to this point, nothing about the Kings roster is super ideal right now.
No.
And they're just kind of dealing with it at other spots. It's interesting that they didn't want to just deal with it at that spot. And maybe they have some suitor lined up for Malik Monk. Maybe that's why, and they know that he's out the door at some point. It's just they're waiting on some deadline to pass where they can move him. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But I did think it was interesting that Malik Monk was out last night. I'm sure he's actually sick.
He was sick. Reno was sick. Reno was super sick. Actually, I talked to Max last night in the locker room, and I'm like, I said, you're sick? I said, you have a cold or something? He goes, oh no, not a cold. He's like, I was super sick. And his whole face is all red. And I'm like, so I'm not going to come over. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't come over here and say hi. And then another reporter that's not from Sacramento went over and like shook his hand and said hello to him and then started interviewing.
Run away.
And then I like hunted down that reporter afterwards. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know that dude like was super, super sick and you need to go wash your hands.
Get some hand
sanitizer. It's everywhere, but you need to go. I don't want you to get sick. He's like, oh, thanks for looking out.
Like I said, I'm sure I'm 99.8% sure Malik Monk is actually dealing with some kind of illness.
Me too.
But also there's the 0.2% of me that was like, the day Russell Westbrook, it's announced that Russell Westbrook's going to sign with the Kings, Malik Monk's not playing.
Yeah, well, that and Devin Carter didn't play in the first half. Yeah.
I don't like again. That's weird conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
nonsense.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on everywhere.
Well, okay, this is where I wanted to get with all this. Yeah. This was all pointing towards this. We talked about it yesterday. We said, okay, if the Kings are going to get to the high end of what we think the Kings can be, they need to be healthy and they need to avoid drama. The health thing, it might already be out the window if Keegan and Domas are going to miss multiple weeks.
Yeah.
The Russell Westbrook thing, we went over it yesterday. I'm not going to rehash it. There are all these dominoes that could fall that check off the drama box that we're trying to get the Kings to avoid.
Yeah, it feels like drama is knocking at the door right now, and the injury is pushing the doorbell. You're like, knock, 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 knock. Ding,
Right,
ding, ding,
right.
ding, ding, ding.
And again, I understand if you're like, you guys are being so negative. They could still win games. Like, they have to play the games. Right. That's why we do this. That's why we love sports.
Yeah.
Because weird things happen all of the time. And the Kings could come out, and we said it earlier, they go 3-0 to start the year. We feel way different about the Kings. Yes, it is. Everything is on the table at this point. It's why we do sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's why they play the games. But man, if you're trying to go into this season with an optimistic view of what the Kings could be, it is very, very, very difficult to get there, given the the way the preseason has gone, frankly.
Yeah.
And B, and that's on the court. And then B, just kind of, all right, injury here to Keegan, injury there, potentially to Domas. And now they're bringing in Russell Westbrook. And what does that mean? It's, I think part of it, I keep saying the first 3 or 4 games of the regular season, I think I would take an awesome performance in the preseason finale. Give me one good, like really rock solid performance that makes me go, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
I've seen it now. I need one. And I don't even like preseason. I try not to react to it, but
I'm with you.
I need something.
I'm with you. And, again, we talked about this before, but, game 1, game 2, we saw 3 guard sets. And that's where having Russell Westbrook, having Malik Monk, like all, you can come at teams with like waves of guards, right? They didn't do that at all last night. And I know Malik was sick and he's out, but the rest of it, we never saw 3 guard sets. We never saw, Zach.
Did they have 3 guards healthy last night?
Well, yeah. I mean,
in uniform?
Keon Ellis played less than 8 minutes.
That was weird.
And to be honest with you, he didn't look good at all in his 8 minutes. He looked completely out of sorts. Like, there's so much going on right now. Again, Devin Carter not playing in the first half, which I don't think Devin Carter's going to play a lot. His agents, like multiple agents, are sitting there. They're not at all happy with what happened yesterday with Russell Westbrook signing.
Well, yeah.
Like the whole thing. And we're talking Bill Duffy. We're talking a power agent. Not happy at all that all of a sudden you brought in another guard and their guard just became the 6th guard. Their lottery pick from last season just becomes a 6th guard on your rotation. Like, there's some there's a lot of things going on. I mean, we didn't even get to the Keegan Murray number.
We'll do that next.
Okay.
We will talk about Keegan Murray aside from the injury. This has nothing to do with Keegan Murray's thumb.
No.
But I promise we will get to that. I also, I want to talk about, you said they didn't do a bunch of stuff with the guard. Maybe they didn't do a bunch of stuff in the backcourt because they're still trying to figure out the front court. And Doug Christie, I think, was very open about that. Don't know. We're going to be trying stuff.
Yeah.
Last night it was Dario Saric starting. I said yesterday, I think that's the way they're going to go just because he's the player with experience there. Where it's like the reason the Bengals went and got Joe Flacco. Is he a great option? No, but man, he's been in enough offenses. He's played enough football that we think he can pick up the offense and be an upgrade over what we have.
Yep.
I think that's why he's gonna wind up starting. We gotta dig into that. And I want to talk about the Kings 3-point shooting and 3-point defense in the preseason because it's been interesting in a couple of different ways. But Keegan Murray got